many times have you caught yourself wondering whether he loves you or not? Those sleepless nights when your mind was racing and you were trying to figure out whether he loves you or just likes you. Now, the simple answer to your question would be that if a man loves you, he will do anything to please you. That said, you'll see that it's not that simple. Men and women are different. When a man wholeheartedly loves his partner, he has different ways of expressing those emotions. Men can be strange human beings. Even if your guy loves you, he'll have a hard time saying that directly to your face. This is because men are afraid of expressing their emotions out loud, although this isn't specific to every guy. Those emotionally mature men know that the cultural stereotype of not showing one's emotions is long gone. As people have evolved, the emotional differences between a woman and a man seem to have shrunk. Nevertheless, if your guy can be described as a die-hard masculine guy who doesn't show his emotions, fear not, as if he loves you, he will show you through his actions. Figuring out whether your current partner loves you or not can be difficult, especially if you've been married for a long time. Guys can hide their emotions and can be pretty clever at doing that, but there are those subtle signs that show whether or not he loves you. Although those understated signs are pretty clear, maybe it's you who doesn't see them. Maybe you have these grand visions of love that have been implemented in your mind. On the contrary, you might have been burned too many times in the past and you've built up walls that prevent you from seeing the truth. Also, you have to ask yourself some questions before finding out whether he loves you or not. The first one is whether the guy improves the quality of your life. You have to think about the contributions the guy has made since he entered your life. Be aware, as many guys out there are very skillful and smart at being users, and they know what they're doing. If you feel like you contribute to the marriage more than your partner, then you should watch closely. Don't overwhelm yourself, because marriage in which you're the one doing everything will eventually wear you down. He also needs to bring something to the table. He needs to make investments on his own in order to make your marriage healthy and successful. You should also be conscious of whether he knows how to take care of himself. Your needs must be satisfied just like his. You shouldn't run around trying to fulfill his every wish while he gives you nothing in return. Don't forgive any broken promises just because you love him. If a guy isn't mature enough, he'll learn how to do things to benefit himself, and you'll be left empty and broken. You can apply this to your marriage as well. Both of you have your own roles when you finally decide to take the next step and get married. He must continue putting in the effort because it's the only way to stay happy in a marriage. Marriage vows include the words "till death do us part," which means he should never stop satisfying your needs and making you feel breathtakingly beautiful. Listen to your gut feeling and don't silence it with the sweet nothings that he whispers into your ear. Don't let a man use you or manipulate you. Show him the respect he deserves, but remember to respect yourself first. If a man loves you, he will show that to you, no matter what, whether he expresses it through his words or his actions. On the other hand, if he's quiet and shy about his emotions toward you, here are those subtle signs that can tell you for sure that he loves you. Number 1. He repeatedly seeks ways to make you fall in love with him. If a man loves you, he'll continually try to make sure you fall in love with him. Know this. Men are natural hunters, so he won't stop pursuing you. That said, he won't have any problems showing you his emotions, and he will go all out for you. Don't be a girl who does things the other way around. Don't pursue him. He might not have the guts to tell you in person that he loves you, but there are other signs that'll tell you the complete story, such as calling and texting you. If you're insecure about whether or not he loves you, wait for a little while and then make your decision. If a man loves you, he will actively pursue you. I know wives who've been married for a long time, and they were the ones texting first and making plans for dates. Later on, they complained about how unsatisfied they were in their marriages because their husbands seemed to not care at all. You have to allow the guy to do his job. A woman's role isn't to chase her husband. Let him chase you for a little bit, as it'll make him love you even more. Number 2. He keenly listens to every word you utter. There will be times when you doubt his feelings for you, but if a man loves you, he will listen carefully to you whenever you speak. This is one of the more obvious subtle signs that he's deeply in love with you. Being present in a conversation means he's interested in what you have to say. He respects and values your opinions about each topic you talk about. If a man is ready to spend the rest of his life with you, you should never doubt his feelings, because what you have to say matters to him. It's not just that he listens, but he also acts on your advice. Men are prone to prove themselves through their actions, so don't be shocked when this guy shows you that he listens carefully to what you have to say. Number 3, he supports you in your endeavors. The future can be a scary thing, so it's always important to surround yourself with people who support you with your goals and dreams. If a guy loves you, he will be a true driving force that propels you toward achieving your dreams. Everyone hits a few bumps in the road while striving to accomplish their goals. But if you have a guy who has your back, it'll definitely be easier. A guy who loves you won't have a problem with your achievements, and he won't be jealous. In fact, he'll be happy about them and will push you to do more. Your entire life will be better if you have a man who loves you beside you. 2 more things a guy who loves you will do is protect your interests and honor your responsibilities. His emotions for you will be clearly seen, and he won't bamboozle you with all sorts of mind games by making you wonder whether he's being real or not. Number 4, he's always there for you. You know what people say. You don't know who your true friends are until you need them, and this can be applied to your current partner too. I've seen many times where a husband tells his wife he loves her, but abandons her when she needs him the most. I'm not talking about situations where you need money or something like that, but about just how invested a guy is when you really need his help. A guy who loves you will offer encouragement and be there when push comes to shove. He'll drive you to see the doctor when you're sick and won't consider a problem just yours, but his as well, as your issues will be his too. He'll be unhappy if you are. Also, a guy who truly loves you will work with you to find a solution or a way out and won't leave you in the time of need. Number 5, he isn't afraid of being vulnerable around you. The beginning of a marriage can be very confusing because each person is trying to be on their best behavior and show their best side. Some husbands might stumble along the way and stop backing up their words with actions, which is why I advise women to control their emotions at the very beginning of their marriage. Practice patience and wait for him. Wait for the perfect moment. You have to allow him to prove himself to you, and if a man loves you, he'll do that. Eventually, he will give in to his emotions and start sharing them with you. You'll have the freedom to ask him anything, and he won't even think about keeping secrets from you. There will be no restrictions, and he will reveal his true nature to you. Being married can sometimes feel like a masquerade, where everyone's trying to show their best face at the very beginning, and they withhold back. But give it some time, and those masks will fall. And when they fall, that's when true love can begin. Number 6, he embraces your flaws. You know those flaws you have that your ex-boyfriend said you needed to change when you were in a relationship with him? Well, you shouldn't change them, because you're beautiful as you are, and a man who loves you will embrace them. You shouldn't be embarrassed about showing kindness just because a man might see it as a weakness. The right husband will see your intensity as a passion rather than a flaw. He'll love the determination and tenacity that you possess. He'll treasure your true self, and he won't have to wonder what's underneath. A man who truly loves you will adore your unique quirkiness and personality, and he'll show that by making sure he embraces those little things. Those imperfections that others have criticized will be lovable to him because he knows that's what makes you so special and so you. Number 7, you are his priority. Everyone is guilty of saying we don't have time for something, but the reality is that we don't make that thing or person a priority to us. A mature man must know his priorities. After all, it's what makes him mature. You may find excuses for not going to the gym or for not preparing dinner, and they may be valid, but you never neglect a person who's significant to you. If a man loves you, he will make sure you feel it. He'll change his plans and adapt them to yours, and he'll be available whenever you need him. If he truly loves you, he'll make you his number 1 priority. And if you're the one who's getting home late, he'll make sure he's okay with that because he knows you'll have a valid reason. Number 8, he can't stop hugging you. Something as simple as a hug can mean so much to a person. That's true, especially when we're talking about true love. The truth is, the longer he hugs you, the greater his love. You shouldn't doubt his emotions if you feel him leaning toward you or if he pulls you close to himself once again as you're leaving your home. Just being in your arms brings him so much joy, and he can't get enough of you. You'll hear his heart beating faster and stronger as he hugs you longer. Even then, he might give you a compliment about your hair, tell you how great you smell, or how he enjoys holding you in his arms. Those are just subtle signs that sometimes women don't notice, but which say a great deal about a man's emotions. Number 9, he introduces you to his friends and family. You can be sure that a man loves you when he talks about you to his friends. If they know about you even before you've met them, trust me, you play a very important role in his life. Generally, men don't like to go around bragging about their lady, although When a husband truly loves his wife, then he'll talk non-stop about her to his friends. He won't be ashamed to show how obsessed he is about you, and not just to his friends, but to his family as well. That's when you know you mean a lot to him. It's a subtle sign that says the most about a guy, so keep a lookout for it and don't miss it. Number 10. He cooks your favorite food. You've seen those movies where a guy cooks a romantic dinner for his girl and she just melts? Well, those films are not far from the truth. If your current partner loves you, he will have no problem cooking dinner for you after a hard day at work. He knows what your favorite food is because he listened carefully when you talked about it. Remember when I told you that a man who loves you listens to you? His meal might not be perfect, but at least he'll try to satisfy you. His wish will be to share a meal with you because it's a very intimate experience that only a man who's in love will want to do. There is something attractive about a man who can cook. It shows that he is creative and pays attention to the little details. Number 11. He doesn't back down when problems appear. As you know, everyone hits a few bumps in the road and has their share of challenges in marriage. But what differentiates a man who loves you from a man who doesn't is that he won't back down when problems appear. He'll stay there and try to work things out. If you're unsure whether or not he loves you, ask yourself how your partner handles relationship issues. Does he sweep them under the rug and avoid dealing with them? Or is he always ready to face them like a real man? Maybe you have some problems with his behavior and he's not ready to change them. This could be a sign that he's emotionally immature and not ready to build a future with you. On the other hand, a man who loves you will put effort into your relationship. He'll try to strengthen and improve the bond between you two. On account of that, he'll be ready to discuss any issues that you might have and be willing to work on them for the good of your marriage. Number 12. He sometimes gets jealous. This sign might surprise you, but when you think about it, you aren't jealous if you don't care about the person, right? Well, jealousy is a natural reaction and it's quite hard to hide. If your husband shows signs of it, then you can rest assured he has powerful emotions for you. It doesn't matter whether you're in a large group of people or not, if he loves you, he'll make sure to stay close to you. If he can't do that, you'll catch him watching you so no other man can get too close to you. If another guy tries to, he'll quickly interrupt the conversation to assert his dominance. However, not all men do this, and you shouldn't mistake this for him being controlling. If he's unsure how to react, he'll at least ask you why you were talking to a particular guy. Number 13. He immediately replies to your text messages. Some guys hardly reply to texts when you send them, or they just send a quick response. You showed a guy you cared and that you were interested, but you got nothing in return. Well, maybe he didn't appreciate you as much as you thought, or simply wasn't in love with you. If your current partner loves you, he'll be happy to take the time to reply to your messages. It's not that he doesn't have anything else to do, but he values your time and that's why he'll immediately reply. He might even surprise you with a message like, "Hey beautiful, how's your day going?" just to make sure you know he's thinking about you. Trust me, he loves and appreciates you so much that he can't keep his hands off his phone when it comes to you. Number 14. He plans his future with you. Well, this is the ultimate sign that he truly and deeply loves you. If a guy is planning a trip for you 2 months from now, then you can be sure he wants to spend his future with you. While some men like to keep things flexible, a guy who's in love with you will plan his future. It means he's invested in making your life fulfilling and beautiful. On the other hand, a guy who only likes you might try to reach out last minute and instead do something spontaneous. He wants his needs satisfied at that time, and that's it. He doesn't think about anything in the long term. You must stop searching for hidden meanings in a man's behavior and enjoy the ride. Don't push a man to step up and make his emotions visible to you. Just relax and let him pursue you, and not the other way around, and he'll reveal his true intentions as your relationship moves forward. Whatever you decide to do, never stay in a terrible relationship. Know your worth, and don't stay just because you love him. Also, know that you can't make a man fall in love with you. It must come naturally to him. If that doesn't happen, take time to heal and start building yourself up for your true partner, who will do anything for you. Believe in God and believe that He has someone for you. Don't settle for anything less than you deserve.